The cafe was warm, filled with the low hum of laughter, the smell of roasted coffee beans, and the clinking of spoons against delicate porcelain cups. At a corner table sat Ethan Gray, a man known not only for his wealth but for the iciness in his eyes. He was the CEO of one of the country's biggest companies, respected, feared, and envied. But those who knew him closely whispered one truth: he had everything, yet nothing. Love, warmth, trust, those things had slipped away from him long ago. Tonight, Ethan was waiting for someone. His secretary had arranged a blind date, insisting he needed to try. And so he sat there in his sharp suit, wristwatch glinting under the soft cafe lights, pretending not to care but secretly hoping maybe, just maybe, life could surprise him. Minutes turned into an hour. No one came. The seat across him remained painfully empty. That's when she walked in. Her name was Lila. She wasn't dressed for a date. Her clothes were simple, slightly worn, her shoes scuffed. She carried herself with quiet grace, but anyone who looked closer could tell she was tired, worn down by the weight of life. She worked 2 part-time jobs just to pay rent and keep her younger brother in school. For Lila, a cafe like this was a luxury, a place she couldn't afford, but she had been sent here by mistake, believing she was meeting someone for a tutoring opportunity. Scanning the crowded cafe, Lila spotted Ethan's table, empty on one side, a faint flicker of hope in her heart. She thought it must be the meeting she came for. Without hesitation, she walked over, smiled nervously, and sat down. Ethan raised his eyes, ready to dismiss her. But something stopped him. Perhaps it was the way her hands trembled slightly, or the way her eyes, though tired, carried a light of determination. "I'm sorry I'm late," she whispered. Ethan didn't correct her. For reasons he couldn't explain, he let the misunderstanding play out. The conversation began awkwardly, but soon, Lila's honesty and warmth broke through the layers of ice around Ethan's heart. She spoke of her life, not to complain, but with gratitude. She told him about nights where she had to skip meals so her brother could eat, about walking miles because bus fare was too much, about dreams she still held on to despite the odds. Ethan listened. For the first time in years, he truly listened. Her words stirred something in him. He had built walls around his life, hiding behind wealth and power, yet here was a girl with nothing, offering him more truth and courage in one conversation than anyone else ever had. That night ended with no promises, no dramatic confessions. Just a simple smile as Lila left, saying, "It was nice talking to you. You're lucky, you know, even when you feel empty, you still have so much." Ethan couldn't sleep that night. Her words echoed in his mind. He found himself wanting to see her again. And so, the next day, he returned to the same cafe, half expecting, half hoping she'd walk in again. To his surprise, she did. This time, it wasn't a mistake. Days turned into weeks. Ethan and Lila continued to meet. She taught him how to appreciate little things, like the comfort of warm tea, the laughter of strangers, the beauty of sunsets he had always ignored. He, in turn, began helping her in small, quiet ways, buying her coffee without her noticing, sending groceries anonymously, arranging for her brother's school fees to be taken care of. But he never revealed his true identity. To her, he was just Ethan, a man who listened. One day, however, the truth came crashing down. Lila discovered who he really was, the CEO splashed across every magazine cover. She felt betrayed. "You lied to me," she said, tears in her eyes. "You let me pour my heart out to you, thinking you were just, like me. But you're not. You live in a world I'll never belong to." Ethan's chest ached with the pain he hadn't felt in years. He had power, money, everything that made others chase him, but the one person who mattered was walking away. For days, he wrestled with himself. He could buy anything in the world, but he couldn't buy her trust. That's when he realized what he had to do. He left his towering office, his polished boardrooms, and went to her small neighborhood. Standing in the rain, he knocked on her door. When she opened it, shocked, he simply said, "You're right. I do live in a world you don't belong to. But since meeting you, I don't want that world anymore. I don't want riches, or boardrooms, or meaningless power. I want this, your laughter, your kindness, your strength. You've taught me that love isn't about what you own, it's about what you give. And I want to give everything to you." Lila's tears fell freely. She had spent her life thinking she was too poor to matter, too insignificant to be seen. Yet here was the man everyone admired, humbling himself before her. Slowly, she reached out and took his hand. From that day forward, Ethan's life changed. The cold CEO was gone. In his place was a man who smiled more often, who cared about people, who used his influence to help others in need. With Lila by his side, he built not just businesses, but homes for the poor, scholarships for struggling students, opportunities for people who had nothing but dreams. And as for Lila, she realized that sometimes life writes stories you never see coming. She had sat down at a table by mistake, but in doing so, she had found love, changed a man's life, and discovered her own worth. Their story wasn't about a rich man saving a poor girl. It was about a poor girl saving a rich man's soul. And the message they lived by became one they shared with the world: true love doesn't see wealth or status. It sees the heart. And sometimes, one simple mistake can lead you exactly where you're meant to be.